and then I'm gonna turn on the timer. So yeah, okay,
All right.
we're
We
solid.
started in. We ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh,
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Attack Baron. I am Fiasco. I'm joined tonight by Grizzly. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you guys? I'm doing well.
Nice. Starbuck is here as well. Starbuck, how are you?
good. Good. Thanks for having me on again.
And Huey is here as well. Huey, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm chilling. I'm vibing.
Perfect. Everybody's doing well. That's what we like to hear.
Can't complain. Can't complain.
Excellent. Well, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Attack Baron. Tonight we're going to jump into patch 3.2 specifics. But before we do that, how has everybody's week gone?
It's been good.
How's the patch treating you?
I finally broke Diamond 3 today.
Nice.
Jumped
Let's
in.
go.
Congrats.
Went
Let's
solo
go.
queue, Morgana support, snagged an MVP, and dragged him into Diamond 3 with me. It was a good
Progress.
game, dude. It was fun.
Nice. How about you, Starbuck?
I've been feeling the jungle. The changes are weird. It's definitely gonna take some getting used to. I lost about 50 LP, and I'm like, well,
Oof,
I guess I'm gonna go
totally.
play some PvP to figure this stuff out because it's
Mhm.
rough. I'm finding that the tank junglers are doing a lot better this patch, so
Hmm.
I'm seeing a lot more of those for me.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Yeah, Amumu,
Yeah.
Amumu jungle.
I mean, to
Oh,
be
but
honest,
he's a caster, right?
Yeah.
yeah. So you can start.
Those
Yeah.
abilities, yeah. I just started with his S2, and now it's a lot better than most of the. I can still hit about 220 with that clear that I built, and
Oh,
have my
nice.
ult ready. So it's still good, but with that extra ability damage, it really helps him out.
That's sick.
So,
Interesting.
What
Yeah.
about you, Grizz?
Yeah. No, my week has been really, really good on the Rift. Like Huey, I was able to do some climbing. Shout outs to our Tech Baron community members, Fluppy and Ninja. We hit a 10-game win streak in ranked trio. So
oh,
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw you guys were
That's
jamming.
sick.
yes. So I'm back up to my peak rank. So now it's just about small incremental improvements and climbing.
Yeah.
I didn't really think about it until Starbuck you said it, but like I've been having a really good time with Jarvan in the jungle.
Yeah.
He's been performing very well for me this patch, and yeah, so I now I kind of want to go back and maybe test a few more tanks. But yeah, so honestly, we're just vibing. Like we're back, and it feels good.
That's sick.
Nice. Yeah, that's what's up.
What are you, Fiasco?
Yeah, I played a bunch more this week than I played the week prior. I feel like I'm stealing people's time away from like their pre-made teams, which whatever. No, but yeah, it's been cool. I played some ranked, played some PvP, a lot of PvP. Just kind of trying to feel things out, right? Like, yeah, but it's been good. Mostly winning, and I will say the jungle it's strange. It's like I didn't take what they said for granted, but I just felt like, okay, well, I don't think I'll need to change too much. But it feels like I kind of did, and it just felt slow, even for like really good clears. But I'm not playing a caster, so maybe that's something to consider. But yeah, overall, it's definitely slower. And overall, though, it's been a lot of fun to play with people in like either duo or trio or even 5-mans, just because the ganks are always so free. So yeah, we've embarrassed some higher elo players, so I feel bad for them, but it's all for our glory. So Attack Baron, here we are.
Yes. Gotta be that top guild. Gotta hit
That's
that top
right.
guild spot.
That's right. Yeah. We have so many people who are just like willing to jump into voice chat, and even if they're like not actively like chatting like via voice. I don't know how people type as fast as they do. I play on a tablet though, so maybe that's part of
Oh
that.
no, I'm the same. I mean, I can't do it. There's no way. I just learned you can run and type at the same time though, which is weird. If you keep holding in that direction, you can like type with your other thumb. That was wild. I did it
Oh,
on
nice.
accident. I do have to give it like you reminded me of this and Grizz reminded me of this. I would feel bad if I didn't shout out like also everyone in the Discord who basically helped me, dragged me to the point where I could even get one win to get into diamond. Like I couldn't have done it without without all the homies in Attack Baron. Not mentioning that and then Grizz mentioning it made me feel like, oh well, that's not cool of me. I probably should definitely say something. I
No,
owe it
there's
to
some
them.
definite homies there for sure. Yeah.
And yeah, definitely the community. Just I love it when we get to really go deep with the community and everybody gets to kind of have time
Yeah.
with one another, and it's just a great feeling. It's a great time.
Everyone's sick.
Yeah, it's good.
For sure. And it's great when like, your duo lane just gives up a bunch of kills and they know it's their fault and they're like, my bad, let's go next.
Right.
You're like, and so we have some accountability here. So, well, that's excellent. Let's talk through some housekeeping really fast. So, for anybody who doesn't know, we recently created a subreddit specific to the Attack Baron podcast. So, if you have some longer posts that you'd like to make, or maybe if you just want to escape the general Wild Rift Reddit community because of toxicity and just online nonsense altogether, feel free to post there. We also, like we've talked about several times so far, have a Discord. So uh, please, if you haven't already, join the Discord. There's so much more here than you think there is. And even if you're like on the fence about it, I'd urge you just to try it. Nobody's gonna care if you leave. Nobody's gonna be upset that you leave. But if you come,
I will.
I feel like there's a lot to gain. And link to that will be in the show notes.
Yeah. Just
Um,
remember, Wild Rift is a team game, and being on a team is better with friends.
Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah, for sure.
good.
I've been feeling that.
That's actually that's a good. I mean, we don't need to workshop that right here and now, but that's a good tagline. There is one in there of like you
Yeah.
need friends first to become master rank. So come make some friends at Attack Baron. Something along
Yeah.
the lines there. I dig
Totally.
that.
right.
I don't know if we want to throw
Yeah.
this in the show notes, but I feel like we should also plug really fast for housekeeping that this is probably going to be the first YouTube episode that people can watch.
Oh.
I don't know if we need to like
Yeah.
link. A lot of people listen to podcasts via YouTube.
Yeah.
It's not something I personally do, but I was shocked when I saw the stats on
Right.
that. So if you've been looking for that, it should be there now. If you want to see our beautiful smiling faces while you listen to us
For sure.
scream
Yeah,
about a
and
video game.
We created the YouTube channel some time back to post videos for Friendly Fives. But yeah, now we will be featuring the podcast content. So if YouTube is your preferred method of content, you can certainly enjoy us there. Or if you just want to listen to both, or if you know somebody who would prefer YouTube, there you go, another vehicle.
Hit them up.
So back to the Discord, we're running a contest at the moment for a new logo for Attack Baron. So again, we're just leaving it open until we have 5 submissions or until we feel like it's been an egregious amount of time. So currently we have 3, all great submissions, and
Seriously.
whoever wins gets 2 free skins. So, but you can only participate if you're in the Discord. So we're also running what we do every Friday night, the Friendly Fives, and this week instead of doing like a theme, we actually created pre-made teams, and I'm glad to see people finally getting these teams' names because everybody was like, I'm on team 1, I'm on team 3, and I was like, these are terrible team names. So I'm glad to see some of this stuff coming together. There was a lot of pre-show trash talk that I was also glad for.
So good. So fiery.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So pre-made teams this week. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And finally, last but not least, SVP of the week. We're gonna shout out Charlie. Charlie's been here in that Discord since December.
December 30th, 2021.
Staple of the
Wow.
community for sure. great at mid lane. I don't know if Charlie joined because of the podcast or because of a stream. We've definitely had like an influx of people because of streaming when we were doing friendly fives. Like I remember one day, like 15 people joined all at the same time.
That's
So
sweet.
yeah, so she's excellent at Akali. I know she's been spending some time with Echo, other kind of assassin-y players, but just like a master at Akali. So definitely fun to play with, and she'll play with basically anybody. So Charlie, we love you. Thank you
Yep.
so much for everything you do.
Big X's, big O's
Yeah.
from us four.
Yeah. So this week we're actually going to jump back into a segment we used to do, the mastery moment, and it's going to be for Amumu, and I think our resident. Luckily we have two on, but Huey is going to tackle the mummy for us.
I'm gonna tackle the mummy.
Yeah.
I freaking love Amumu. I mean, it's not really a secret that he's not the most ideal champ right now. I mean, we can duo this a little bit. Starbuck had already kind of brought up that, and he's the jungle Amumu master as well. What is the difference with blue buff for him? Like, how does it feel? With like, is it helping his jungle, hurting his jungle?
Well, I think the main thing is just it's allowing with the blue buffs just allowing him to keep his mana up, so he can just basically run his AOE the whole time. He doesn't have to worry about managing mana. So with the extra damage output that now abilities do, instead of it used to be basic attacks and abilities, but now with just the abilities doing the extra damage, it's really kind of jumping him in front of the line on a lot of these champs because his main damage is that AOE ability. And with the blue buff not having, with just the mana regen out of it, not having to worry about that, that really helps him just run that the whole time and just really clear faster. So you can still, it's a little bit slower now, but I can still get about 220 to 230, have my ult up and ready to gank bot lane or red side.
That's so sick. And I'm assuming you run him pretty tanky when you're taking this guy through. Yeah. I remember a little while back, I think I'd mentioned it on the podcast. I ran AP. Well, I mean, it was like sub tank, sub AP Amumu, and it was some of the most fun I've ever had in any game of Wild Rift, anything. It was just support. I was support Amumu, looking for the right time, right grab, and we would just melt, absolutely melt the other ADC team. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it into ranked. It's something that is like very circumstantial. So I didn't want to accidentally hurt somebody else's climb with doing something a little gimmicky. But it's in the right circumstance. It is very, very viable. I would say.
If you can get on a on like any of those carry champs or squish your champion, Amumu's combo it will do most. It will take most of their health away. So like he's still very good into squishier comps.
And I think people are very much underestimate his ability to steal if he's got the right abilities in the right moment. I have seen Amumu junglers just never allow like him against an entire team, and he will not allow them to take an objective if he is doing it right.
Yeah, with that ability to hop over that back wall, I mean it's very easy to be able to get over that wall, and you don't have to flash or anything like that. So it can be easier to get into the pit that way.
Yeah, no,
So
especially
what does
those
his
late
kit
levels.
look like? Just for anybody who doesn't know, what's his kit look like?
So he stacks up those two bandages, his bread and butter. He gets that Spider-Man ability just to be able to swing himself all over the rift. He can store, I think it's still two. I haven't played him in a few weeks now.
It's two.
And then his second ability is an AoE, covers himself with magic damage. And it, like, I would even say by like not very long into the game, you can basically never turn it off. You can just kind of always have it on. I mean, it's good to like save it, but if you're like managing it right, using it right, like you might as like you'll have it on most of the time. It feels like as you're prepping or whatever. Second ability is an AoE spin that will damage and slow enemies. Definitely more for the utility than the damage. And then his last ability is just a massive AoE stun that can completely change a game if it's used right. It is like I've seen it make more impact as an ult than so many other ults in the game. Like it's crazy. It's so good.
Yeah.
Good team fight ult.
There's beauty.
Yeah, I think his ult is like defines the champ, right? I mean, like I think a lot of people know him just for the ult.
Right. I would say one thing that's with the Rylai's Crystal Scepter upgrade now.
Yes.
Definitely need to put that on him whenever you use it, because that AOE, if they get stuck in that, that's a 30% slow that you just hit over and over and over and over.
It's
They can't
so
get
good.
away.
It's
Yep.
so much fun. That was literally the second item I built every single time from the support lane. I was gonna bring that. It's so fun. Like after
Wait,
Abyssal
what?
Mask or Leandries, like whatever you decide to do, Icy Scepter is just like a staple on this guy. It's amazing.
What's the cooldown on that? Is that only dictated by the internal cooldown of Rylai's itself?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
What is how often can it proc on?
I don't think there's a cooldown on it. I think
I
it's
don't think there
every
is either.
ability.
I run it
Oh
on
yeah,
Morgana all
wait.
the time, and there's nothing.
Oh yeah, because Singed, his poison just always slows.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
kind of insane, actually.
Oh man, that's kind of busted. Yeah.
Just if you're close to him, you're slow.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
It's maybe one of
Jeez.
my favorite items in
That's
the entire
crazy.
game. And I think it's
Yeah.
actually, I think it's 40. No, it's not 40%. That's crazy
30,
talk. It went from
30%.
20 to 30, right? Yeah,
Right,
we'll go
right.
into it, but
Yeah.
I love this item. Like literally not even a joke. Maybe my favorite item in the game from the support lane. So fun.
Wow. Okay. Well, with that, unless you have anything else to say, let's get into the patch.
I love it.
So, as everybody is probably well aware, 3.2 dropped last week, and with it, I think a lot of people were expecting we'd get Nautilus and Pike sooner than later, but instead, we got Echo first. So, Echo dropped. He kind of is a mid laner, assassin, caster, jungler, and I think we were talking about it on Discord today. He does not have that great of a win rate at the moment, but I think he's kind of one of those high skill expression champs.
Yeah,
Right.
totally.
Yeah.
So I think people are still trying to figure that out. He's not really like the kind that just you just playing mindlessly. So,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I think he seems fun. I haven't had a chance to play him in an actual game. But I did mess around with him in practice some, and just like some of the little combos you can do for trading, like early game trades even, are really free once you get to level 3.
His early mid game feels fantastic. In the one time, I mean, I got to play him more than once, but his late game, it was like, it became a lot harder to navigate. It felt like it's like, okay, like I have to do this perfectly, or I'm gonna die. I'm gonna melt. So it's, I don't know. It when once everyone else gets stronger and like able to just like take you out, I don't know. He's tricky. But he's fun. He is really fun.
The thing I notice about him is that his ult has an incredibly low cooldown. I mean, you can literally just be like ulting every like 20-ish seconds. That's nuts. Like,
That is crazy.
you're literally just all over the place.
Right.
But yeah, I think he, if he's optimized like item wise, he is very scary. He scales, but yeah, you can't just like, you do have the get out of jail free card in the ult, but you know, once you burn it, I mean, it's very easy to see that he doesn't have it too. But yeah, he's squishy
Right.
for sure.
Yeah, I think the key with him is it's the hardest part of his kit, but I think the key to this champion is finding ways to consistently land the full W, that full stun,
Yeah.
that gives you the shield. I've seen a lot of echoes kind of just not even really not try super hard to get it because it's really hard to land. There's a delay to it, and there's a travel time on top of that. Then he has to be in there when that little baseball lands in the ring,
Right.
and the enemy champion also has to be in there. So it asks a lot, but in terms of setup. But I think once people figure that out, you'll see his win rate climb up a little bit. I think that's really the crux of his kit. It's kind of how he can get onto 1 to 2 people, deal a bunch of damage, rewind out, and then kind
Right.
of play with his team after that. So
I will say in the
I've-
first.
I've-
Oh, go for it.
I was just gonna say, I've seen people using his his shield toss move as poke, and it's like throwing out the Lux shield. Like don't throw your Lux barrier at an enemy. It literally does nothing. So I've seen people do that. I'm like, you're just wasting mana. Like if you can't get there, don't do it. You know.
There's a there's this weird trick to his ult where it's like I know it can do a ton of damage. It is hard, and again, I've only done it the one time, but I found it like being hard to like adjust my mindset to like think of it as a utility. Like I kept trying to line it up to like make sure I used it for damage, make sure I used it for the team fight. Like it's hard to keep it like I'm glad it has that cooldown. That definitely helps, and will probably help that adjustment unless they nerf it. But trying to like keep in mind like, oh, if I need to heal to just be here longer, I can ult. Like feels bad. It's like I don't want to waste this and have my team be like, what is he doing? Where did he go? Why did he take off?
Totally. Yeah, I think it's one of those ults that you just have to use. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to hold it. If you can get like, that's when the skill expression comes in. If you can get to the point where you're seeing, hey, if I do it now, I can escape a key ability and do damage. That'll be a growth moment, but I wouldn't sweat it. If you get caught out, just pop it.
Cool.
Yeah, with the low cooldown, don't be afraid to pop it, and just play safe till it comes back up. It's
100%.
it's literally not a big deal. And then like you'll see times where people are just running through your trail. You're like, well, if I ult now, I'm gonna do a ton of damage. Just use it.
Yeah, for sure.
It.
And one thing to think about is like if you queue up his big area of effect like shield toss, and you get in there, you land the stun, and then like you go to leave. Like if you instead of like dashing out, if you just like run out after you've landed the stun, his ult will walk back into it, and at that point you can like consider where maybe the rest of their team, because you're playing in a team, and maybe then is a good idea to ult back into the sphere you just left where you stunned everybody, blow a bunch of people up, and use his dash to then finish people off. But yeah, he's very high skill expression character.
For sure.
So they also, Elemental Rift just came back. I mean, literally just came back. They actually posted an entire dev article on their news page about it, which I was like, I'm not going to read, mostly because I do want to play it to get insight into what it's going to mean down the road for the game, because this will be coming to, it will be a permanent implementation into the game in the coming months.
Yeah.
But it's been very hard to play through the last time, because it felt like I kept getting really bad teams, and beyond that, it's like if I lost the dragon, we just lost the game. So they brought that back. They made a bunch of changes that they've outlined. I don't think it's really worth talking about here, but the big thing was that they wanted dragons to feel like if you got a dragon, it was worthwhile, and so there's kind of this scaling nature to just having any dragon at all. And so that's kind of like their big thing, is like if you got a dragon and then the other team got a dragon, you both have those buffs, but now instead they're like are scaling, they mean more.
Do you guys remember anything specifically about what they were talking about with there being like two different elemental rift modes during it? I don't know if it was this patch or next patch, but there's the one coming that is strictly one element throughout it.
I do remember them saying that, but like I don't think that's called out here. No, I think you're right. I remember them saying that.
I think it is this.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think it's implemented. So like right now, whatever the first dragon is that spawns, or maybe it's the first one.
It's going to be one element per game until Elder.
Killed. Yeah. And then once Elder spawns, it'll be different, I think, is how it goes.
Yeah, I got to look again. I do remember thinking that it felt weird just because they said in the video 3.3, like hard deadline, and they can change it obviously, but they made it sound like we're ready to make it ranked. But now we have two different modes of it, as if it's like still like really up in the air. It's really interesting, but I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll have to
it's
go
gonna be
play
a
it.
tough thing to balance.
I haven't
Which would you
played it.
guys prefer? Would you guys? I mean, would you guys consider that? Like,
I'd
what if
have to
there was
play it
just
first. I'd have to
one?
see how it felt.
Yeah.
Sure, but intellectual exercise. Like, what do you think is
Yeah.
better for
I think
the quality of games?
Yeah, I think that I don't mind like what they're doing with the stacking the dragons type of a deal, but I think they do need to like rotate the dragons, and maybe that means more dragons a game, and that they're
Right.
less. So like if they do like so right now if it's Infernal Dragon, the first time it spawns, if you kill it one time, it's 4%. If you kill it twice, then it's 6%. If you kill it three times, it's 8%,
Yeah.
and it stacks like that. That's the way it kind of is right now. I think that's fine to do it that way, but like they should have the other dragons. So like maybe there's 6 dragons a game or something like that. That would just say more team fights or something like that. I think maybe if they did it that way with the stacking dragons, it'd be okay. But I think there needs to be a variation to where your team's like, okay, we don't need that dragon. Let's just go trade it out.
I am a
Versus
little
making-
nervous about one element having just naturally a huge advantage, like a mass.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's like okay, our team comp isn't suited like towards it being Mountain Dragon all game, like or let's say fire,
Right.
right? Like let's say we're
Yeah.
not a heavy attack damage. That's a better example. That is like I wouldn't ever want to feel crippled by a dice roll. Having a mix of elements is like okay, like this is gonna benefit pretty much everyone on the team to some degree if we got like both, right? If we got ocean and
Right.
mountain, most people are gonna benefit from one of those two at least.
So,
Right.
so think about this. This was something that I heard proposed for League of Legends, but what if in Champ Select there was a big thing in the middle and it showed you which element it was going to be, but it was only one element a game, and you can
Oh,
pick
that's
your character
interesting.
with that in mind. So like you get into Champ Select, you're pre-picking champions, and boom, in the center of the screen you get a big it's going to be Fire Rift or only Ocean or only Mountain Rift.
That could diversify a lot of people's like who's in their
Champions?
kit, who they're ready to use, who they're ready to throw into a team comp.
Yeah.
I like that. I kind of dig that.
Yeah, I feel. See, I think then though, like I think in turn, like for the people who have like a deep champ pool, like that's great. But for the people who don't, like
That's true.
they're just kind of punished. But I mean, I think to Starbuck's point,
True.
I do like the idea of being able to say, well, my team doesn't care about X element, right? And
Yeah.
then basically just saying like, okay, it's free for me to go to Rift Herald because they're spawning at the same time now. Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on it though. It is
Yeah.
a new mode. Another thing that came along with this is that GVG season 3 will be starting here on the 23rd. That's gonna be a
Yeah.
big day all around.
It's exciting.
And yeah, so if you don't know, we have a guild. I don't think we have any open spots now, but we are going to be making a push for top 50. We are currently the
Go.
top 94. So we're going to be making a push, and I think we just need to go. I think we need to go undefeated, which shouldn't be too hard, and then just get as many people armed as possible. So, we push it a lot. Just get armed, and we're going to work towards these wins. Push for top 50. Let's do it.
Okay.
Totally.
So the most excited thing I am about, thing I'm most excited for in guild versus guild is
Oh, yeah.
the dialogue is only going to be triggered 3 times a week now.
Thank
Yeah.
goodness.
That is the best.
It took
No,
me
I
so long to
know.
figure out what
about
that
this.
stupid notification was. I was like, I've gone everywhere in the app. I've gone everywhere, and I just like it was
Yeah.
driving me insane.
That it came back every week was the worst for me. It was
Yeah.
just always like, I've already read this one, but you'd have to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Well, and they also have like done away with the sabotage thing, which I feel like we never ever
Oh,
had to deal
yeah.
with.
I don't feel like it was even did anything. It was
No.
Yeah.
I've lost in other guilds. I've lost weeks because of sabotage by like
Oh, wow.
1K, like 2K. You know what I mean? Pretty small
Mm.
increments. So I'm cool with that. But yeah, legitimately, I think we should all just hop on board now and say like, we're gonna make this big push. If you guys are in the guild, you know what? I think we should lower the inactivity. Honestly, like let's try to get like the max number of active people so we can really, get as many as people as possible armed and playing together. maybe we don't have to be super ruthless or cutthroat, but I'm pumped.
Yep.
For sure.
Already.
Well, let's talk about the other big thing that came along with this patch, what they titled lever mitigation. Basically, they've added a couple of things to affect the results of having an AFK team member. So the first thing they did was they created what they called a remake. It's basically like, and they're still ambiguous about this. I thought maybe in the notes they'd go into detail about like what time window you actually had to deal with, but basically what they say is in the beginning of the game, if a person on your team goes AFK, the remaining teammates will have a chance to vote for a remake. If you do, then the game will end with neither team winning or losing. The only person who will be punished will be the person who went AFK. And to kind of mitigate some potential like loopholes or just like ability to kind of like extort this, they've basically made it so that if you're in a pre-made and you have somebody whose master is above, the pre-made members also get a loss, just so like you can't abuse this into like getting out of, I don't know, maybe people like they get into a game, they're like, oh, we have all emeralds or like all diamond whatever, and they're upset, who knows. This is going to be a way to prevent them from just being like, whatever, we're going to dodge with a remake. So if you're in a pre-made and you're above masters and you try to use the system to get away, you will also be getting a loss. So
Yeah. It's a
that.
great system. I think they really knocked it out of the park. I feel like it's a good like ground floor, right? Like all the things I would hope are here like in the spirit of
Right.
the punishment system. I'm excited to see them like build on top of it, like adjust it and tweak it, as like getting more specific, getting times more down, things like that. I'm so excited, so
For
happy.
sure. And so just so nobody's like immediately like worried, they basically came forward and said like they're going to start doing this with normal just PvP games to make sure it's working.
Yeah,
And then they're gonna move it into the remaining game modes. So right now it's not in ranked. I'm sure they'll announce when it will be in ranked. Right now it's just in normal, but it will be moving to ranked eventually. And then the other thing that they went forward and did, and they kind of talk about like anybody who's past the beginning of the game, so like a remake is no longer available. They're making it so if somebody goes AFK, midway through the game, they're basically calling it loss mitigation. So the way it works is if you're below diamond, you'll have more ranked fortitude deducted based on how long you were AFK. So if you go AFK, you're going to lose a ton of fortitude. But if you if you weren't AFK but you had someone go AFK, you're going to receive 20 to 50% more ranked fortitude. So like to prevent the loss, and they went forward too and said basically that fortitude build, like the build of fortitude, is considered now before you lose a mark. So like instead of you being knocked down, say like you had a no marks and you were gonna be demoted, but you would have gained enough to get you like a mark of fortitude. This will instead say, oh, you're not getting demoted because you earned enough fortitude, but you're losing.
yeah,
You're losing it to stay.
Right.
If you are diamond and above and you go AFK, you're going to have more VP deducted based on how long you were gone. And if you are diamond and above and you didn't go AFK, but you had somebody else did, you'll get back 20 to 50% of the VP loss based on how long they were AFK for. So if somebody just like is literally just gone for the remainder of the game, you're gonna get back 50%. But if they like, if they kind of like were just in and out due to like spotty connection or something, you're still going to be punished less, but it's not going to be like if you're 10 and 10, it's not going to be like you got back 5, you know, you
Right.
get back like
Yeah.
7 or something,
Feels good.
or, you know, so yeah, I think that's a good, like Houston said, good place for them to start. And I know people have been crying. They've been like pouring out their expression about how this needs to change, and so I'm glad to see them making changes. And the thing too is that like nobody saw it coming, so it's just like even better.
I definitely think it's a good place to start.
I did see
Yeah.
a post get taken down on Reddit of a guy who was like, I'm going on to like get as many kicks in as I can until this goes into ranked, and I was like, boo.
Yeah, damn.
Wow, for
Boo.
real? Jeez.
Dude,
That's
that guy
so
probably
annoying.
that guy probably got ratioed real bad.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I just learned what that meant today. Catching up on all that young people lingo.
Dude, I didn't know what that meant for the longest time. Don't worry about it.
So the wild pass also went into effect. If you can earn the dreaming, whatever his name, Dream Raider Nasus, which I think he looks excellent.
Yeah.
His pose also looks excellent.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, he's just kind of chilling, like
Oh,
leaning
yeah?
up against his axe, and he's got his like, you know, we talked about this last week, but he's got those like weird
boots.
pants on.
The dumb
huge
leg
boots.
warmers.
Yeah, exactly. But I think regardless, especially his splash art looks really cool. So I think it looks great. I'm excited to unlock it. And then going more into skins, along with Echo came his Sandstorm Echo skin, which, you know, kind of par for the course with them in terms of like dropping skins that are available for new champs. It's just kind of like mediocre, you know, blah blah blah.
Not bad.
It's fine.
Wouldn't
It's
hate on
fine.
anyone for being like really into that specific one, but pretty general.
I mean, I think I heard somebody say, I think it was Son with Star said that he really liked it, but
It's good.
he and I don't agree about skins whatsoever. So
It's a rule.
It's a good place to start.
It's cool.
May
Yeah.
May 19th, they're actually be dropping the High Noon skins, which I'm super excited for.
Yes.
I think Ash looks solid. Aurelia's, instead of these like blades, she's got these like mini gun blades, so I think that looks great.
Yeah.
Is she in
I'm
PC?
most hyped-
The wild.
Yes.
She is. Okay. I wasn't sure if we were getting any Wild Rift exclusives in that line.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Did you see the Twitter post about these skins?
No.
They said you can add them to your posse today, and then like a comment later down there, they're like, "Sorry, tomorrow you can add them to your posse tomorrow." And that was nice.
They are. That is an event though, isn't it? I remember seeing that on the site. I think. Oh my gosh.
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
I think it is going to be. But High Noon Thresh is one I'm specifically really looking for. I don't know that it's represented as kind of, you know, apples to. I mean, I don't know that's the exact representation of it. At least his splash art on League PC looks a bit different, if I remember. But I still think it looks great. I'm super excited for it.
Yeah.
Of course, they added in a bunch of like more baubles and you know, emotes and backing things. There's of course the stuff you can earn via GVG that you'll be getting in from the Wild Pass as well.
Which I want to say, I want to disregard it every single time, but some of the emotes they drop, I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
why do I want to
Look at
spend
this-
$5
look
on
at
this?
Tryndamere.
I know,
Yeah,
dude.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've
getting me.
already been spamming the Tryndamere. You get
Yeah.
the Tryndamere pretty early, but it's pretty good.
It's good.
Yeah.
It is good.
I think, yeah, I mean they're all pretty solid.
I need the
Yeah, the Olaf
yeah.
is good too. The Olaf is
Oh,
good
for
too.
sure. The dust off the shoulders Olaf for sure.
yeah.
There's also some banners which actually I think look great. And a new back. I think that's probably for the High Noon stuff. But, you know, whatever.
Good.
Yeah. If there's anyone at Riot listening, or anyone who has an ear to someone at Riot, please come out with a master, like a Wild Pass Volume 1 recuperation event where, like, you know, everything, like there's a specialty
He's
store.
so sad.
Like there's a specialty store that has everything that's ever been in a Wild Pass, up until like the psychic or even just do the through what were the Hexplorers?
Hexplorers, yeah.
Yeah, my man missed maybe the best Jack skin ever.
So I think what they
Yeah.
need to do is just get a blue mote. They need to get a blue mote shop, but make it like super expensive.
I like that.
You know?
I'm also good with that.
Yeah,
I'm
and then
also fine with that.
you can put in your time and like maybe it costs 50,000 blue motes to get that skin or something. I don't know.
Or what if it's Poro coins?
Yeah, or something.
Yeah.
I mean, but so we kind of talked about events. The Echo's arrival event is ongoing now. I think it ends in a couple days. But basically, you can get Echo for free, which is what I'm shooting for. And then starting on the 19th, when the skins drop for High Noon, they will also have an event going then. But after that, I think we're getting to champ changes. Grizz, you are going to cover these for us.
Yep, I got it. Oh, by the way, the last thing I'll say is, guys, if you haven't logged into Wild Rift between the time you're hearing this and 24 hours prior, go ahead and log on real quick. They recently changed within like the last like 2-3 months. They changed the what they give new players, so it's a little bit more lucrative to new players to start playing the game. And they just gave, if your account was older than that, they just gave you everything that came with it. So
That's
me and
cool.
Starbuck Starbuck logged on before this, and there was like a free skin in, or no, a free champ in there.
Champion.
There was like a free champ.
What?
Yeah, sorry, it's not a skin. There's a free champion in there,
Okay.
and like there's like a donut bobble, and there's some other good stuff.
Oh, nice.
That's
I need to
sick.
do that.
Yeah.
Is it time to start a Smurf?
That's what I was
No.
thinking.
Log into your main.
No,
It just-
I know, but like if they have like a welcome event going,
Yeah. there you go.
like then maybe it's worthwhile to create it. I feel like
Just if you want to
get
use it later.
punished- Yeah.
It's- It's permanent, so there's no
I was
there's no
gonna say,
rush. But
I think now it's in the format of like an event when it comes on. So
Mm.
you go in and you start, and then it like starts you out on like a mission map kind of deal. So and as you do the certain things that they say, they give you all this stuff. Well, for this event, they just put it all in an event, and then you just click on it and you get it all. But when I started my account a couple weeks ago for my my mid account, they basically just had a map that you went through, and you did all the little missions as you went through, and you got free stuff. Like you'll get champions and skins and.
Oh, nice. That's how it was when like I first started the game.
yeah. No. I think Starbuck, what you're talking about is just the champion tracker where you get all like 15 free champions it gives you. But though the new player event, I would say event in air quotes, but it's completely 24/7 as long as your account is new. It's just it's in the events tab. It's a completely separate thing.
Okay.
But that is also a thing. I mean, this game is insanely. It's kind of insane because it's free and it's also incredibly free to play friendly. Like
Yeah.
it's so generous, the amount of like they literally give you 15 different champions for free just
Yeah.
for playing like I think it's like 7 games or something. It's nuts.
Yeah, it is
good.
cool.
Sick. Well, let's blitz these
Yeah.
changes.
Okay. All right. Champion changes. A.L.I.S.O.N received a little bit of a not a rework, but a shifting of her power. So she's getting a little bit less regeneration as far as her energy goes, but a little bit more damage on her 5-point strike and her perfect execution. So I believe that is her ult and her S1. So yeah, won't be able to kind of spam these abilities, but they'll do a little bit more, so it kind of compensates.
Really fast with A.L.I.S.O.N. I mean, I can't speak to people who practice her a lot, but I played her the other day. Her power being shifted into the first dash feels amazing. It was unbelievably cool. So I don't know if
Why did they buff this?
See, I don't know though. Like my thought, she's such a technical character. My thought is like maybe really high ranking A.L.I.S.O.N players are like, this is actually worse, even though it appears kind of nice. Like it's better to have the setup type of. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. When I saw this, I was like, really? A.L.I.S.O.N needed this? That's what you guys gleaned from this? Really?
I liked it. It was fun.
Oh no! The change was good.
I'm kidding.
Like really, like they thought that she needed a buff. Kind
Yeah,
of
I
like
was
there
like,
are.
this is goofy.
Let me be more specific. I was surprised that Riot thought she needed more damage.
She's on
Right.
KDA. She's not allowed to be bad.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
actually true.
it's a rule.
Well, I mean, maybe that's not true because next up is Ari, and she got 10 less health per level.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
true. That's true. That's true.
Not
She's exposed.
not as big of a deal. I mean, it is 150 health at max level, which is a decent chunk because how many times have you lived at like below 100? You know.
Yeah, she's also not one to like be like, oh man, wish I had a little. Like she kind of dies when she gets exploded. Like if she gets burst down, she dies either way. So it's
True.
yeah, it doesn't feel like the end of the world. But I'm
Yeah,
glad
and
that those trades go not in her favor anymore because she needed that.
yeah, I mean, she's just kind of been strong for a while. If you play mid, I feel like you kind of know this.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it's not like I mean, she has no shortage of ways to get out of a fight. In fact, she has 3 of them, 4 if you can count Flash. So, next up is Blitzcrank. I guess they were a little bit dissatisfied with how he was performing, so they kind of moved some things around. He's gonna get a little bit less mana regen, but a little bit more mana regen per level, as well as a little bit more attack speed, a decent amount more attack speed actually. And the cooldown of his S3, which is his knockup, is getting reduced by 2 seconds at all ranks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just like got a huge buff. I mean,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
huge, but
They're really
think
pushing Blitzcrank.
It's
Like somebody
every
at Riot
patch.
is a big Blitz fan.
I was
Like,
just
don't
gonna
know.
say, someone's eyes are on him, and they're like keep tweaking, keep tweaking. Like we got to make him good, and I'm all for it. I
like
love
Blitz.
Blitzcrank.
Yeah, I like if you land this one, I mean, and it was smart, you know.
Yeah.
We've all seen that Blitz grab the guy and then the guy wipes the whole team.
Seen it, buddy? I've lived it. That was me.
Yeah,
I was that Blitz.
oh no. Oh no.
Nice.
That Blitz just pulled in a Baron steal.
Yeah, I mean it does damage, so technically.
So funny.
Next up, Rip Huey. Galio some nerfs did come
Yeah.
through for him. So they wanted to be really clear. Unchanged is the taunt duration. So the amount of time that the CC lasts is still 1.5, or I'm sorry, 0.5, scaling up until 1.5 seconds. So that is unchanged. Now, what did change is his duration speed. So the charge duration needed for the effective range and taunt duration at each. Sorry, that was word salad. Basically, he takes longer to charge till his max distance of his S2, which means that he's not going to be able to as quickly secure, these very fast CC chains on people. Huey, do you want to kind of talk a little bit about your experience with this?
Yeah, I mean, reading the patch notes, I was like, that kind of sucks, but it's not the end of the world. And then feeling like it's slow, man. Like it takes a minute to get to where you want it to be.
It's a half second slower to reach
It's
max.
trash.
It's kind of rough. I will say that the damage. I mean, it's an extra like what 20% on the scaling of the damage. I think
The damage did go up.
10%.
Yeah.
it definitely did, and I can like it's another thing where I'm like, well, I noticed that, and I definitely do. It feels kind of like the last patch's Fiora update, where it's kind of a get good patch. It's like this is technically going to be harder, but the payout's a little bit bigger if you pull it off.
Yeah.
So
True.
I in a way I kind of like it, but I have been kind of poking around with other champs lately.
Sure. I mean, honestly, I feel long term that this won't affect him too much. It's
No.
gonna be one of those things where you have to get used to it.
Right.
And something of note, it's not very big at all, but his effect range, it used to be the minimum range was 2, and now the minimum range is 1.75. So that will probably matter 1 in
A million.
3,000 times, but like it's something to note of. But yeah, keep playing Galio. He's still strong. He's strong for other reasons. Like
Still a great champ.
I think Galio's fine. I think
Yeah.
he's gonna shrug this off just fine. Next up, Karma. Karma is looking like she's getting a little bit of a nerf. Her inner flame base damage is going down a little bit. Not incredibly a lot, but it is there. And then the slow from her Transcendent Embrace, which I believe is her tether, which should be her S3, I believe. the slow is actually getting hit quite a bit, from 50% slow to 35%.
I don't know the names of her abilities at all, so it's
I think Transcendent might be the first one, her S1.
because it creates that field that slows people down. That was my
Oh.
thought. I don't know though. I don't think the tether slows people down. I think it's like karma where it's all the same until it stuns. I think, but
I'm pretty sure they list them
Oh.
in the rank in the order which you build the skill. So Inner Flame would be first.
I thought that
I
was
don't know
passive for
what
some reason. I should
I
know
don't know
this.
what Transcendent Embrace is, but she did get a nerf.
Yeah.
I am getting exposed. Okay, so Inner Flame is her S1.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
the Inner Flame base damage is going down. So her S1 base damage is going down. And then, excuse me. The Transcendent Embrace is actually her ultimate. So the ultimate slow is getting hit by 15%.
Ah, okay.
That's actually pretty cool. I dig that.
Yeah.
It's already
Yep.
so strong.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like no one's going to argue that Karma wasn't top 3, maybe, and maybe the best support champion.
Oh, without a doubt. Oh, without a
it's-
doubt.
The nerf is still not enough. I
No.
played against one last night. Psh,
Yeah, no, she's still great.
Not enough. Still
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, keep playing her. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, you basically build full AP anyway, or that option is open to you. So, also pro tip, if there's any duos out there that are looking for something to practice to climb, queue up with a friend as Ezreal and Karma in the Dragon Lane, and Ezreal and Karma specifically, and just make people cry. I believe both those champions win rates are fairly high, and specifically when paired together are pretty nuts.
Yeah, they're nutty.
Okay. Morgana is coming up next. They're doing this thing where like they want her to basically be more of a carry / a jungler. So the base damage on her Dark Binding is going down, and the base damage on Tormented Shadow, which I believe is her little
No,
pool.
her S1 got buffed.
It
Like,
did
Yeah,
get buffed.
it's buffed. It goes up.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Wow, I am messing up. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, they're buffing her base damage to her Q, and they are. This is weird, because okay, so on Tormented Shadow, the base damage is getting nerfed slightly at the beginning,
Right.
and nope, it's just going down. Man, I need this. I need sleep. It's going down. She's getting a nerf. She's getting a nerf on this one. But so it's less base damage, but the damage to monsters is better, and the mana
It's
cost
only on the second
is-
ability,
is
right?
better.
right. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Her jungle clear is insane at the
Yeah,
moment.
it's still good.
Yeah.
Really?
It was already. She was already. Starbuck, correct me if I'm wrong, but she was already the fastest.
Yeah. Fastest.
Yeah, she was nuts. Now she's nuts again.
She's still, yeah. They kept her definitely up there with the base damage going down. The extra damage to monsters still doesn't mess with her jungle clear, which is what they wanted to do. So
Yep.
she's still
Yep.
good. I
She's
played her even
debatably
with
one of
her
my
further
favorite
buff.
champs, so it's I'm pretty. I might have to give that a try. I will say the secret
Yep.
buff of Morgana this patch is Icy Scepter or whatever it's
Yeah.
called.
Rylai's.
Rylai's.
Dude,
Guys.
that item is so good on here, and it going to 30% is gross. It's so gross. People can't go anywhere.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna keep
True.
that name though. Icy Scepter.
I've just
Like,
always yeah. I have nicknames for everything because I don't care to learn.
Okay, so moving through the last few of these a little bit more quicker. Rengar's base attack damage is getting nerfed from 64 to 58.
Good.
It's,
Is what
I
it
guess.
Yeah.
That's fine. Seraphine, they kind of did this in as a pair with Sona. Basically, Sona and Seraphine's base damages are they're both getting nerfed. Seraphine's base damages are getting nerfed, but and her AP scaling on her B drop's getting nerfed. And Sona is actually losing healing, but the shielding on her S2 is going to be better, and as well as the cooldown on her S3 is going to be higher. So they kind of nerfed both Sona and Seraphine to prevent this double enchanter
Yeah.
bot strat that's been kind
Mhm.
of around. So
Yeah. Specifically in combination with each other.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
so that was that.
Wait, did we lose someone?
Mm-mm.
Nope, we're good.
Okay,
we're good.
cool.
They changed Shen around. They gave him a little bit more mana regen, but they took away a little bit of the mana that you get back from hitting champions. And Twilight Assault's energy cost is going up a little bit, so he's still it's a rebalancing. It's not that big of a deal. And we are also getting a Soraka buff as the last champion change. She's getting more movement speed on her Salvation, as well as just a better S1 and a better S2 from a healing standpoint. So
her speed increase is pretty significant too. Like she starts booking it towards people that can be healed. Isn't that specifically
she's so fast.
Yeah.
Totally.
I've done that.
She goes into a dead sprint. She's trying to win that 200-meter dash gold medal for high school every
she's
game.
quick. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because like I remember for a long time, people basically cried about how like she had never been touched for like 6 or 7 months or something. So it's good to see that she's getting some love because nobody really plays her, or they didn't.
Yeah,
I think that's interesting though, because I agree. Like she saw less play, but I always thought that when I went up against her, like she was always kind of an issue. But
that's how I feel too. Every time she's been on my team, she has just blown me away. And every time she's on the enemy team, we can't kill anybody. It's I don't know if it's only like the sleeper picks like of these pros who are using Smurfs or whatever that I'm just running into with Soraka, but she's
build
crazy.
anti-heal quick. I mean, I think it's kind of like you realize with like certain champs, you just have to have it sooner than later. And on the lines of anti-heal, they've made some changes to items. So Executioner's Calling, it's one of the intermediate kind of like tier 2 items on the way to Mortal Reminder. It had its AD drop just a little bit, but it also costs less now. And I think they tried to do the same thing. Well, no, it's weird. Infinity Orb, which they list here, but then they kind of talk about Oblivion Orb. So Oblivion Orb, which builds into a Infinity Orb, kind of did the same thing. Less ability power, so from 40 down to 30, and then costs 200 less gold. They're trying to make it so that you can get to those like anti-heal items sooner, without having to do like a complete full purchase. And then it's weird, kind of like I mentioned, they wanted to buff Infinity Orb specifically because they just felt like it was getting chosen less than Rabadon's and Morellonomicon, but maybe rightfully so. Ixtali Seed Jar, which I think everybody kind of said is like this gimmicky meme item.
Yeah, totally.
They actually reworked it, so like they got rid of it having armor and MR, and now it gives you 425 health, 25 ability haste, and it retains its movement speed. And the idea is like it's got a different build path, and basically they want people to be getting more movement speed from actually using it. So like when you pick up seeds, you get 40% additional movement speed that decays over 2.5 seconds. So like you're going to be like moving quicker. But then again, like its other part of its unique passive is whenever you hit a plant, you can pick up a seed and then use it later. It's still kind of gimmicky, but whatever it's gonna be.
Riot wants you to use this jar so bad. Every patch, they're like, please use our cool jar we came up with. Please.
Right.
Literally every patch they say something about Ixtali Seed Jar. It feels like
I've never seen a single person take
that
it
in Hex Deck
ever.
I think the Kindle Gym, with now the new build path with the Kindle Gym, that's going to kind of help. I think.
Yeah.
With the
ability haste.
I think this is something a support might pick up early.
Yeah.
And then sell it when it gets later in the game.
And I won't lie, you could set up some like potentially dope like Baron steals or like objective. Like if you put down a blast seed in the right spot or like gave your team some extra healing if need be, like especially with how the elemental rift is like affecting the map now with extra blast seeds or extra healing fruit everywhere. Like I don't want to complete, like, I don't know, like no one does it because it might be too gimmicky, but what if you learned it and it was great? What if it completely changed your playstyle? Like, I don't know. It's interesting.
I think the honey fruit in the Baron lane, I think that's where you're probably going to find the most use for it.
Yeah.
Just having basically, you can pick up the honey fruit, put it back down, pick up another set. So
Right.
extra
Just
healing,
stay there.
but
For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So
There's probably some combination of champ and seed jar that is really good and is really high skill cap, but people just haven't found it yet. But anyway,
It's
I
still a
mean,
little too
it's
silly.
movement speed, ability haste, and health now. So I mean, like, it's gonna be used somewhere for sure.
It's a good amount of ability haste too.
Ability haste, yeah, that's what I mean. Ability haste and health, the movement speed. I mean, who knows? You know, people will find a way.
Life finds a
Moving
way.
on, Rylai's the icy scepter that Huey, as Huey calls it,
The icy scepter, baby.
the
Oh my
icy
gosh.
scepter. So basically, all they did to it was kind of buff it, and so slows now went from 20% to 30%. But I guess it's going to be a big deal in cases of like, you know, where it's constantly just affecting people. So sounds gross.
With really
Yeah.
aggro teams, Icy Scepter at 20% was like it is wild to watch like really like heavy rushdown teams. Like if you see a lot of pre-made parties, it's a lot of like I feel like you see a lot of attack damage assassin types like with a few tanks to CC in the back or like doing what they can. And it's just a really coordinated a bunch of attacks. Icy Scepter completely dismantles it. They rush in, they can't get out, and they panic. And it is my favorite thing in the entire world.
yeah. Singed and Amumu players rejoice. Your champion got 10%
Ugh.
better.
I need to pick up Singed.
Yeah.
It's time. I'm excited.
Seraphine. Yeah. Solari Charge Blade, they tried to rework it back in 3.1, just trying to keep it safe, but basically what they're doing now is giving a little bit more damage to the Radiance on hit effect. So like you build stacks of Radiance which can let you do more damage, and I think they can cause a crit. But basically they've tweaked it so they're giving it just 5 more damage. So not crazy. Void Staff also got buffed. Again, this was kind of like they're like people build this, but generally they only build it last. And so they're trying to make it. Oh no, yeah, they're trying to make it more appealing.
Yeah.
And so basically they gave it a 5% magic pen increase and just kind of tweaked it by 100 gold. So nothing crazy there.
Yeah.
They did also add in the 8 new runes, which we are going to deep dive next week. But they added in the domination tree. They added in Giant Slayer and Scorch. In the inspiration tree, they added in Demolish and Nimbus Cloak. In the keystone spots, we got Lethal Tempo, which nobody doesn't know about, and Kraken Slayer. And then in the Resolve tree, we got the Ultimate Shield and Nullifying Orb. So looking forward to jumping into those next week. They did make some other rune changes that I'll blast through here really quick because Jungle's going to take some time. They kind of changed some wording with Grasp of the Undying just to make sure it reads correctly. And then Mastermind, because of the Demolish rune now, they changed Mastermind to only do bonus damage to epic monsters, while also giving you more gold from it. So instead of you being able to get more gold from taking a turret, you're actually you're getting more gold from getting monsters, and you're doing more damage to monsters.
Yeah.
Fleet Footwork, it also got changed. The idea was kind of like it had been like pretty solid for lane sustain, and they wanted to kind of broaden that, and so they're adding this element of getting mana back, or energy whenever you're like triggering its effect on a champion at the cost of losing like range and melee healing, so from minions. Jumping into the jungle, though, there are some really substantial changes here, and kind of like we talked through, it kind of feels slower. Basically, they wanted to make it so that instead of every jungler starting with red, they want them to maybe consider starting at blue. And so I think a lot of what they did was kind of say, hey, instead of caster minions starting somewhere else, like blue, why don't we have them start red and then have AD champs start blue? That's kind of what it feels like with the tweaks they made too. So red buff now does 50% against non-champion units. So like that buff you get from it. And I think before it probably did more because you were getting like the burn off of it to help your clear speed. But now like the red buff has 0 magic resistance and its health actually increased. So it's a 20% increase. And it gains 120 health per level. So it's chunkier and it's harder for AD champs to take. And as it evolves, again, it maintains that like 50% for dealing against like monsters and non-champ units. But it just gets more health. So the evolved version of the red buff is now starting at 3,400 health and getting 150 health per level. And again, they kind of did the same thing with blue, where they changed the way the buff works, where now you're not getting missing health, like you're not getting health regen, but you're getting bonus ability haste, and they're also giving you more mana. So like getting more mana, ability haste, but you're not getting like the health regen. And then instead of nerfing its armor or its MR, they basically nerfed its armor. So now blue buff has 0 armor, and then it also has a 20% increase to health and 120. And then at its evolved level, again, you're getting 15 ability haste, and so you like they changed it from 20 to 15. You're getting more mana, and you're not getting the 7% of missing health that you had before. And instead of it having base health of 2,800, it's got 3,400, still with 0 magic resistance. So I think we can spend some time, just a little bit here, to talk about that. But ultimately, for me, it's kind of felt like I need to start on the other side of the map,
Totally.
or start at a smaller camp before like I consider red, because red is really hard to take with level 1. And I've been playing a lot of Vi, who's got good clear, but it just it feels slow regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with this change, soloing red buff level 1 if you don't get a leash is not really viable anymore.
It hurts.
You just get so low in your jungle clear. Like you get so low where you almost have to back. So I agree. What I've been doing is I've just flipped my jungle clear around, where instead of the standard clear being red Raptors blue Scuttle, I've just gone blue Raptors red Scuttle. And it's been working fine. The other option is just start on whatever side that your duo lane is in if they're going to leash, because that's 2 people leashing. But yeah, this whole red buff is super hard to take now. I don't really like it. It's a workaround.
No.
It really feels that it should be reversed, right? Like AD champions should want red, and AP champions should want like the infinite mana and cooldown reduction of blue.
Right.
So
And
I don't know why they.
Maybe it's to say like, okay, you're gonna start blue, and then you're gonna have red because you want it later. So instead of like having red to help your clear, like, and then getting blue and going for a gank, like now you're going to have blue. It's going to keep you healthier through your clear, and then you take red and you'll have it for your gank. I don't know, but I agree. It's tough. And with the scuttle changes from the last patch too, like with it giving you less XP.
True.
It's just been like, it hurts. Jungle hurts.
Yeah, it does.
I really wonder about their long-term goals about the culture of the game, right? Because it feels like, while being clearly League of Legends, it feels like they're trying to create their own identity. I've wondered from the Scuttler and now into this if they are trying to change the culture of jungle being as hard of a carry, or like as an important peg on the board for both teams. You know what I mean? Like making it like just taking some power out of the jungle as a whole, like I could see everyone unanimously being like, this is worse, and then being like, we're sorry, but that was kind of the point, like
Yeah,
this.
that could be.
Yeah,
Like
no,
I
for
don't
sure.
know, but
That's what it feels like.
it does feel like that might, like, I mean, I'm not internal Riot, I don't know, but at face value, it feels like that role requires more effort, so it should have a little more payout. So this feels kind of weird, but I don't know. Maybe if you're good enough, it doesn't, like, you still have as the same level of impact with the slower
Yeah,
times and I don't know. I don't know.
I think too. It's like you have like Morgana.
I gotta try.
These casters. I feel like are doing better. Their whole goal was to like get casters through the jungle faster.
Right.
So it almost feels like they're trying to have like casters have their time in the sun, right?
Could be.
There
Maybe
were
it's
like
just time
none
to move
before.
on to a different jungle pool.
Yeah, could be. And then the one thing that the one last thing I'm gonna say about this is just to be transparent. You said like you'll be healthier in your clear with blue. They actually
Oh,
removed
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
they removed the healing from blue buff, which
All right.
I think it's kind of counterintuitive because if you read what they like were trying to say, they were basically like, "Hey, red buff was too strong, blue buff was too weak."
So we're nerfing blue buff.
But also
They
we
did give it
nerfed blue
ability
buff.
haste, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
and that's fine. But like, what the people came to see was your health just instantly come back at the empowered blue buff. That's really what the people want. And
Right.
so taking that away is kind of obviously it's like a very powerful ability, like to basically
Yeah.
like have just here's a Warmogs just for free. But yeah, I don't know. I'm very conflicted and but honestly, yeah, it's fine. At the end of the day, like it makes jungling a little bit more, I guess, interesting and kind of
Yeah.
maybe less straight. No, you know what? I'll say it's less straightforward, which might be a good
Yeah.
thing.
It's like you're not just like doing the standard path anymore,
Mm-hmm.
Well, so there's still a few things, and I want to get through this stuff quick. So
Yeah,
Rift Herald
totally.
and Dragon both spawn at 5 minutes now, and Rift Herald actually gives less gold from taking it. I don't like that. Again, just
Right.
like a hit to the jungle. But then they did this thing to Smite where now it's doing 15% more damage to monsters. And
5%.
again,
But only by
that's what I
skill.
mean. It went
Yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
10 to 15. Sorry.
Correct. No,
That's
you're
what I meant. 5%
totally good.
more.
15% more would have been nutty.
No, that would have been stupid.
You're
That
just
would have
clearing camps like every
just
10
use Smite.
seconds.
Yeah. Step up to Raptor. It's at 900. Just hit Smite. No, I'm sorry. It went up by 5, but the thing again was to help casters. So they're really pushing like caster junglers. If you play Morgana jungle, like you don't need that extra help. You're already
Yeah.
really fast. And then
No,
a big
that did help Amumu though a lot. That 15%,
Oh, I bet.
the extra 5% there, and because it's on the skills, so it's like
Yeah, exactly. And,
Yeah, he
and
needs it.
if you do have the ability haste going off a blue buff, like, and you're doing, his S3,
yeah.
to help clear, I mean, yeah, it's going to be huge.
Yep.
Totally.
So otherwise, systematically, they did add so vision. This was a big thing. People wanted control wards. Pink trinket, as it's known in League for a long time. So now you have a third option. It's called a control ward. It has 3 health. It's not hidden, and you can only put 1 down per player on the map. And again, you can't put 1 down until it's destroyed or replaced. So it's great. It's nice. I feel like it's like you can use it to find other wards. It's great for seeing invisible champs. I'm just glad to have it in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
really
it.
good.
It's been a fun addition. I like it a lot.
Yep.
One thing I've noticed is that because it's shiny, it's new, people want to use it. Ward coverage in just random queue, like with randoms, has been a lot better.
Oh,
like,
I bet.
There's been a lot more vision actually, which is
People know about wards.
a nice bug, and it's a nice bug in the system that we're having more vision in our games.
I have seen an entire team take them, so I'm excited for the dots to connect and people to go back to normal wards as well and be like, oh, let's just get 1 or 2 of these for the team, and then the rest of us can burn the other 2.
Yep.
Right.
It's funny.
And with the wards staying around on the map until they're destroyed, I think that's
Mhm.
why you're seeing so much ward coverage. Because
That's
people
true.
place one down and they forget about wards, you know. But if
Yeah.
they stay around the whole game, if no one kills it, then you got wards up.
It's
so.
true. It's true.
Also, pro tip. I know this works for sweeper. I think it works for yellow ward. But if you place a pink ward and then switch your trinket, you can have your pink ward out and a sweeper. And I'm pretty sure it
Whoa.
works with yellow as well. So
That's
just
pretty
something
cool.
to think about.
I dig that. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing they kind of mentioned that like nobody maybe even knew about was that they changed the tenacity formula to be multiplicative instead of additive.
Good.
To reduce effectiveness of stacking tenacity. So now, if the example they give is if a champion has two sources of 30% tenacity, crowd control duration will now be 49 instead of 40%. So, okay,
No, it's
Yeah.
good. It's honestly like
yeah,
now that they've
it's a
said
lot
it,
better.
a lot of old things that I've seen in the past have clicked in a weird way. Like I've seen games where like a Tryndamere has just not cared about our CC. He's just ran right through, and I wonder if it's someone who's been abusing that. I don't know, but it's been interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, it's better now.
you just build. Tenacity only has 3 sources in the
Oh,
whole
it,
game.
it is better
It's
now.
well, no, it's worse. Or like, no. It's tenacity as a stat is worse. So you will get CC'd for longer
Okay, that's what
now
I
instead of
thought.
CC'd for
Okay.
less.
mm-hmm.
Because so I was really confused too, Starbuck.
Okay. I see what it is.
Yeah. I had no clue what this sentence meant until about 15 seconds ago when Fiasco read it. But they're saying that the crowd control duration will now be 49% as opposed to it being 40%.
Okay.
They did weird. A little
Yeah,
weird.
they
Right.
worded it weird. So,
Right.
honestly, like I kind of think tenacity is a necessary stat because of how much crowd control's in the game.
So much.
Right.
But it is kind of like there's only 3 sources for a reason, and it's like it's a incredibly powerful stat. So you
Mm-hmm.
know maybe limiting a little bit more will make that game ending CC a little bit more. So that's
Yeah.
fine. I
Right.
think.
So there's Merc Treads, and then there's the
Hunter Titan
100
Yeah. Hunter
Titan.
Titan.
and Sterix Gauge.
Sterix Gauge is the other one.
Dang.
Okay.
That's crazy. It feels like there should
Those
be
are
more than that.
Those are the only 3 things that you can take with you to give you CC or tenacity. But no, I mean, but it makes sense because like it's such a powerful stat that like imagine if there was like an AD assassin item that had tenacity, like that'd be insane.
That's
Like
true. That's
you
true.
know, what I mean?
That's true.
So I have my phone is cranking through battery.
Cool.
So out of fear of losing this all, Starbuck, you want to run us through rapid fire questions?
Yeah, let's do this. All right. So the first one, are we doing anyone on this, or are we doing? Am I picking?
Yeah,
Hey,
you go ahead. You pick.
Go
I'm the
for it.
last question, so you go. Yeah.
All right. Let's do. I think Houston. Who's your go-to ban?
Oh, Fizz. A little more lately, Darius, maybe, or Olaf, probably. But overall, like, Fizz is my forever ban. I can't stand this
Yeah.
stupid fish. I hate him. I hate him in his dumb jumps. I hate him so much.
yeah, that's a pretty troll champ to be honest.
Oh,
All right. Grizz. What would you rather have? Would you rather have an AFK on your team and just sit in the fountain, or would you rather have a bot?
I would actually rather have a bot.
oh, interesting.
I have played a game where we were playing trio queue, and our bot lane kind of ran it a little bit, like gave like 3-4 kills. We got 2 bots instead, and won the game.
Wow.
Wow.
And the
Wow.
bots actually took it to the enemy duo lane, and
No.
they got
No.
kills. The bots got kills. No, they did.
Oh my
The
It's
bots
a
gosh.
lie.
So
Wow.
Oh my
this
gosh.
happened.
This is
No.
propaganda.
No, this happened. So I
AFK
would much
protection
rather
was
take
for
bots.
nothing.
Yeah, dude.
Um, wow.
All right, and Fiasco. So, if you had to place a bet on a team who would win the most games this Friday of Friendly Fives, who would you bet on?
Okay, so I was going to say, and don't think this team has had any time to practice, which I just don't think they've done it. I haven't seen it. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. I think I like team, like they just came up with a super long name, so forgive me, I don't know it. But Team 3, which is basically Jaden, Charlie, that team seems scary. Jaden, crazy. Charlie, also crazy. But again, they haven't had any time to practice, I don't think. And that's a big deal. And so I don't know. I like Team Grizz, Team Starbuck too. But Huey
Yeah.
and Sour Cream, I mean, I looked at the teams and I was like, there are some crazy teams here. So, you know, so I guess I'll stick with Jaden and Charlie.
Yeah, you pretty expertly threaded the needle of not
Yeah.
picking and also picking everyone else on this podcast.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
Masterfully done, my man. Masterfully.
my prediction for this is that the teams that go 2-0 and that will meet, it'll be mine and Starbucks team versus Huey and that one girl's team. That is,
Nice.
I don't know who
that
they're
is my
versing, but
prediction.
Jaden's there. I think Jaden's. I agree with Fiasco 100%. Jaden's.
Yeah.
I've played too much with Jaden to know that he's so cracked at the game, dude. He's so
He's
good.
nuts.
All
Yeah.
right. And then I'm going to do one for the listeners. So this is a rapid fire for the listeners is
Nice.
whenever Fiasco is going to be picking teams, and he'll probably pick them whenever he's shoutcasting. So if he doesn't pick the correct team to win, what should Fiasco have to do?
Ooh, I like that.
So, I don't know where to put that in the Discord, but
Announce
Someone will
put
it.
work
your
it out.
submission somewhere. Yeah, just
That is
like
awesome.
at Fiasco or something.
Just more happy birthday.
Yeah,
Fiascos.
just tell him happy birthday again. Yeah.
So,
Has to sing happy
Well-
birthday to himself for every time he gets it wrong.
Yeah, there you go.
That's too brutal. Don't do that. Don't vote for that.
No, that's terrible.
That's mean.
Okay. Well,
Let's call it.
Again, thanks for everybody who joined in this episode. If you haven't already, please join the Discord. You can be included in the fun that is Friendly Fives and also our logo competition. If you're competing in the logo competition or if you're thinking about it, make sure to get your logo in. If you want to support the show, if you want to support the community, please consider buying us a coffee or going to Buy Me a Coffee to support us. That link will be in the show notes as well. Next week, we're going to be jumping into runes, as I mentioned, the new 8 runes. And with that, I think we're just going to... Where can everybody find you guys?
So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see our handles right below us individually. But then you can find me at _ HueyVon on Twitter. I'm going to be linking everything I do to that. So just go there.
all right, you can find me on Twitter at Starbuck16, and then in the Discord at the Coffee Guy.
Yep, you can find me, your boy Grizz, at the Grizzly WR, and also on Twitch at Grizzly_WR. Yeah, come say hi. Ping me in the Discord. Let's talk about whatever your heart desires.
Whoa, I'm going to show up. Wow. All right, guys. I'm going to...
Sounds good.
Guys, we talked about this happening and it literally happened.
I know,
Did your phone die?
No.
What happened?
Worse.
We're at an hour 20.
I know.
I feel but
No.
oh
No.
Wait, what?
Craig stopped recording at 9:23.
no way.
No.
Yep.